Hello, everybody, and welcome into Palmetto Sports Daily. Kevin Bilodeau here in Charleston, joined by Teagan Brown in Myrtle Beach, Rick Henry in Columbia, and Carmine Jamay in the upstate. Now, even though it's Thursday, we've got high school football to talk about tonight, including a big matchup here in the Low Country, our game of the week. Actually, about half of our games have been moved from Friday to Thursday because trick-or-treating is important, and it will be recognized as such here in the Low Country. But our game of the week is over in Mount Pleasant as two rival high schools facing off in the final weekend of the regular season as Beckham takes on Wanda. Now, this is a matchup, hasn't been around very long. Beckham High School just opened about 4 or 5 years ago, so this will be the fourth time these two teams facing off. Beckham actually won the first two matchups, even though they were the newer school 2 and 3 years ago. Wando came back, beat Beckham for the first time last season, so looking to even up this series at 2 apiece tonight when they face off at Robert E. Hayes Field. Still a lot on the line for both teams. Wando is a 5A Division I team, so they're fighting just to get into the playoffs. Beckham, they're in 5A Division II, but they seem to be firmly entrenched in the postseason, just working on where they'll be playing and who they'll be playing in that first round come next week. But both head coaches saying earlier this week they understand how important this matchup is.
We bring it up. We bring it up. I mean, who wants to lose to your rival? And, Coach Perrin has done a great job with that football team, and much respect to them. But 365 days that you got to go, with knowing you lost to your rival, it sits in the back of your mind. So
I think that'll be huge. It'll be huge for the community. I know it's going to be a tough game. They're big, fast, and physical. Jamel does a great job over there. So it's going to be a ball game no matter what, just like how it was last year.
So that's a big one over in Mount Pleasant. Also tonight, we actually have all of our 5A teams here in the Low Country playing tonight, and 3 of them fighting for a region championship in Region 7. That includes Somerville, Ashley Ridge, and James Island. Now, all those 3 teams each have 1 loss in region play, so they're all tied right now, and they've all lost to each other. Somerville lost to Ashley Ridge, James Island lost to Somerville, and Ashley Ridge, they also lost 1 game to James Island last week. So the tiebreaker in that, from what the James Island head coach has told us, is going to be points, point differential, I should say, in just those games between the 3 teams. And because Ashley Ridge beat Somerville by 22 points a couple of weeks ago, if all 3 teams win tonight, Ashley Ridge would win that region championship, and Somerville would actually get knocked down to the 3 seed in that region, which for a team that was the #1 squad in our Friday Night Lights poll for a majority of the season, that would be impressive, as they would have to go on the road in that first round of the playoffs. But there's also college football on the schedule for tonight too as well, Teagan.
There is, yeah. Coastal Carolina taking on Marshall and some Halloween Eve action. And, this has been a pretty hyped-up game by Coastal Carolina Athletics. I guess there are some surprises in store. We're still trying to figure out what they are. Medieval Times is going to perform during halftime on the field. We talked about that earlier this week, so that'll be interesting. But Coastal Carolina just looking to get win number 5. They're 4-3 overall. They're 3-1 in the Sun Belt, which puts them at 2nd place in the Sun Belt East. So there is a chance, that they can get to that Sun Belt championship game. Still, of course, they have to get through JMU. But I think right now, a lot of fans are just hoping they get those other 2 wins for a bowl game. They reach that 6-win mark. Coastal Carolina going into tonight with Samari Collier starting under center. He started for the first time against App State. It was a win there for them. They scored a season high for points for the season. But Tim Beck was asked if his offense has been more physical with Samari there, or if it's been any different from when Tad Hudson was in charge or when MJ Morris was in charge at the beginning of the season. So they've been through a few quarterbacks, but here's head coach Tim Beck talking about if he's seen any difference.
I don't know that we weren't a physical offense. Maybe we weren't showing that based on what we were doing, right? I feel like even earlier in the season, when we were running the football and having opportunities to run the football, we were doing pretty good running the football. Again, I think you need both. You have to be dynamic at both. But when you could run the football, you can control the tempo of the game. And when you can control the tempo of the game, you got a great chance of doing whatever it is you want to do. And both teams have been able to do that. Us and Marshall, they've been able to do the same thing. Run the football enough to control it and try to create big plays or eat up the clock, whatever it is.
Coastal has run the ball a lot this season, but when Tad Hudson was in charge before he got injured against ULM, they seemed to run the ball even more. He didn't put it in the air all that much. But then we saw a new layer when Samari was in charge of the offense against App State. I'm pretty sure we're going to see that new layer again tonight. So I think the goal for Coastal, the key here, will be actually stopping Marshall's quarterback, Carlos Del Rio Wilson, who is 6th in passing yards in the SBC right now. Of course, Marshall also has the second best overall offense, but Coastal did just beat App State, who had the top offense in the Sun Belt. So I'm just curious on your guys' predictions here. If you see Coastal coming out on top in this one, they still have some question marks. They haven't quite figured out their full identity for the season yet, Kevin.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't understand anything about what Coastal's been doing the last couple of weeks and how they keep coming out on top of these games. All I know is they've got momentum, and Collier seems like he's a guy. And I'm not even sure he's a great quarterback at this point, but he's doing enough to get them in the win column every time. And he, like you said, that offense has been much improved over the last couple of weeks. So even if he's not, the prototypical quarterback that you want to see in this position, he's doing enough to get them wins, Carmine.
Yeah, and sometimes that momentum can be a huge thing, especially bringing who knows what else of the specialties, but along with medieval times, which, as you guys know, along the coast is an awesome attraction, and all over the country, not sponsored for Palmetto Sports Daily, but I've been there. It's a great thing. But you do have to eat with your hands, though, Kevin. You have to get in there unless you request the silverware. So I don't know about
Not a fan of that part.
Carmine, I don't think that's too unusual for you now, is it? You're right at home there.
No, but
medieval times.
No,
whoa,
but you know who does
shots
need that
fired.
that barbarian mentality, to get in there, show some Clemson grit, the Tigers guys, and hopefully, they're going up against another really good quarterback, kind of like the Coastal Carolina emergence there that you guys are seeing and noticing in Darian Mensah. This is a big concern for Clemson because Mensah is the leader in the country as far as passing yards per game, almost 315 passing yards per game for Duke. And Clemson, their secondary is possibly the most questionable part of their entire defense, which for several of these games has been questionable in totality against any type of decent ACC competition, giving up basically 35 points in back-to-back home losses against SMU and against Syracuse, Teagan's Orange up there in northern New York. But just coming off giving up 290 yards to Kevin Jennings at SMU, and two of Teagan's Syracuse Orange quarterbacks almost combining for 300 passing yards. So possible first-round pick for Clemson, Avion Terrell, explaining how this bye week can help and how they plan to get things together and improve in the passing game against one of the best in the country, hosting Duke.
A good quarterback. Good quarterback. Can move, get out of pocket, very accurate. So we ready. I feel like we have to just communicate and learn how to finish. Everything was just the big plays was just us not communicating. So we have to communicate and finish the game. Energy around the facility is great. The team, we are good. We're just having a win-to-one mindset right now. Every week, just win-to-one and dominate our opponent.
And Avion Terrell, the younger brother of A.J. Terrell, the cornerback for the Atlanta Falcons, who a couple seasons ago got some big bucks for his family and for himself, which is awesome to see. And Avion Terrell on the same trajectory to be elite, hopefully at the next level as well. But some of those passing breakups or really breakdowns, I should say, in coverage is what allowed SMU to seal the deal and convert that final drive for a touchdown when Clemson really needed to stop. So, Rick, your optimism that the Tigers can hold up in the secondary, because that's going to be probably, a huge aspect of this game with Duke's passing attack being one of the best in the country.
Obviously, some concern there about Clemson's defense, but how about the offense? Anything leaking out today, Carmine, on the health of Cade Klubnik? I mean, who's going to be playing quarterback for Clemson? That could also be a factor. But if they don't tighten things up in the secondary, that may not matter.
Yeah, no, great question,
we could be looking at
Rick,
a real shootout here.
Yeah, we could be. Dabo's keeping everything close to the vest so far, but we will get an injury report later today about if Cade Klubnik's going to be questionable, probable, is he going to be active, and those type of things. But he has been practicing this week, which is a good sign. Although Christopher Vazina threw for more than 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and came alive in the second half. So he really looked good. So we'll see. Klubnik would probably still be the better option, but we'll see as this week keeps going. This show's going to keep going right after this. Much more Palmetto Sports on Palmetto Sports Daily in a moment.
And welcome back to Palmetto Sports Daily. It's been a crazy year for coaching changes in college football. Let's just say that coaching carousel is spinning wildly, almost out of control. Before we hit the month of November, I think we had like 10 coaches released, including 3 from the SEC. The latest to get a pink slip, LSU's Brian Kelly. Now, he started the season with a lot of optimism for all the fans of the LSU Tigers. They were ranked in the top 10, but now they are 5-3, and Kelly is out of a job. Now, USC head coach Shane Beamer, he says, yeah, all of these firings have certainly caught his attention. The Gamecocks also had playoff aspirations, just like LSU, but they haven't had the season they thought they were going to have. They stand at 3-5 with 4 games left. And the Gamecocks were coming off a big year where they finished 9-4, and they were in the playoff conversation. Now, Beamer says we're seeing how quickly the tide can turn against coaches, even those who've had some recent success.
And it stinks. You hate that part of the job. Those are good people and good men, and hate it for them. But you understand what you're signing up for. You understand you understand the expectations at these jobs. It's to win football games, and you understand the urgency to get it done week in, week out. So it doesn't change how I do my job. It's just I do the same job I've always tried to do, and that's having urgency each and every day and thinking, short term, what's best for the team right now, but also, long term, what's best for the program. And you're weighing all those things without a doubt. But yeah, it's definitely, eye-opening.
Now, Shane knows what it's like when a coach is under extreme heat and fans are ready to run him out of town, because it happened to his father, Frank Beamer, when he was at Virginia Tech. They really wanted him out after he got off to a slow start there in Blacksburg, but they kept him. He stayed there, I believe, like 17 years and had a Hall of Fame career. So, Kevin, what do you think about this rash of firings and what it means about the state of college football?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going anywhere, especially as the money keeps coming in and more donors want to have a say in what's going on at these schools. You look at the situation at LSU. If the donors are going to stop bringing money into the school because they don't like how Brian Kelly is running this team, they're going to make a move. The interesting thing to look at, though, is, once you hire the next coach, would the fans make the move again? Because I started thinking about this because of what's going on over at Penn State right now. Matt Rule, the head coach in Nebraska, who's been rumored to be the leading candidate to go back to his alma mater at Penn State and become the head coach there, he signed an extension at Nebraska earlier this afternoon that's going to keep him with the school through 2030. And now the betting favorite to take that job is Jeff Brom, the head coach over at Louisville. So I wonder if you go to Penn State fans now and say they hire Jeff Brom, is that the guy? Would they be satisfied with that move? Would they be okay with the firing of James Franklin, a guy who won 9-10 games, took him to the playoff last year, got him to within a couple plays of getting to the national championship game? If you had told them this is who we're going to hire to replace Franklin, would they have been okay with that move? Carmine, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a great point that you bring up there, Kevin, and because we've seen a lot of coaches that either have had success but not quite getting to that national championship level, which we aired the soundbite that Clemson coach Dabo Swinney was talking about earlier this week on the same program here. How many coaches have really won the big one? If you're talking about the national championship, conference championship, or things like that. Like James Franklin, just went to the college football playoff semifinal. I know 3 devastating losses in a row, and you can't lose to Northwestern at home and UCLA with an 0-3 record. That's brutal. Is it worth a firing when this guy's had so much overall success? Brian Kelly, winning a lot of games, but not right up the top of the SEC. And even my New York Knicks guys, when you see we made the Eastern Conference Finals, but hey, is that not good enough? So then you fire your coach, and the hope that the next person can bring you to the elite level. But sometimes that also is a risk reward when you drop all the way down to worse than the situation you had there, guys. So I don't know. It is crazy, though, for sure.
Yeah, I know a lot of fans, they really don't think about that, especially fans who think their program is better than what it really is. For example, South Carolina, you have some fans calling for Shane Beamer's head, but who are you going to hire? Who is going to want to come in here and follow Shane? It's been a program that historically can't reach the upper levels of the SEC. And here's a quiz for all of you. Name me a South Carolina football coach that, upon departing South Carolina, got a better coaching job or even a head coaching job. You can Google it and get back to me later. Teagan?
Steve Spurrier went to the UFL. Does that count?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole question of, is the grass really greener on the other side? You're getting rid of these coaches. You're getting rid of James Franklin, and it's like, oh, he couldn't bring us to this moment, but we're going to find somebody who can. Can you? Can you really? Who's going to be that person? All these coaches are signing extensions. Is Lane Kiffin going to leave Ole Miss? We don't know. Who's going where, and where are you going to find somebody that will bring you to that point automatically? I get with Brian Kelly, we gave him, 3-4 years. We didn't make the benchmark that we wanted to, but I just want to know, what's the option that you're going to go with now? The grass is not always greener. We got to take a quick break here on Palmetto Sports Daily. We'll be right back.
Welcome back into Palmetto Sports Daily, and for a lot of fans out there in the state of South Carolina, the football season has unfortunately been disappointing, especially for Gamecocks and Tigers fans. But have no fear, because basketball season is almost here. And the great thing about the preseason is that the hope is the main thing, because everybody's undefeated before the season starts. But for Clemson men's and women's basketball, both hosting their openers on Monday. For Clemson women, they're hosting USC Upstate, which we have a great story coming out on Rachel Rose, who started her career at USC Upstate, then went to Wofford, 2-time SoCon Player of the Year. Now she's at Clemson. Her first game there will be hosting her first college team. So great story there. And for the men, they are hosting New Hampshire on Monday. They got a pretty easy schedule for the first month of the season, although not an easy transition, because head coach Brad Brownell entering, I believe, his 15th or 16th season on the job, longest tenured ACC men's basketball head coach now, coming off the winningest 3-year stretch in his coaching history, 74 wins. They went 18-2 in the ACC last season, but very disappointing in the conference tournament, and then upset by McNeese and Clemson graduate coach Will Wade for McNeese. Now he's joining the ACC as well as a head coach. So Brad Brownell is only bringing back one player, Dylan Hunter, who had any playing experience all of last season. It's a completely new team, although R.J. Godfrey 2 seasons ago was on the Elite 8 team for Clemson. Now he went to Georgia, came back as a Clemson Tiger, but completely new roster. So I asked Brad Brownell about the challenge of that and the cohesiveness starting the first week of play. To have that reset, know that you're behind the 8 ball with the revenue sharing, know that you got this new team, how has that motivated you for this year?
Yeah, I mean, it motivates you. It's challenging. There's no running from that. It's hard. This is a different time. Money matters to some degree. But having said that, coaching does too. Player development matters, and trying to put your pieces together as best you can to put forth the product that best product that you can is something that we take great pride in. I think behind the scenes, our staff is grinding every day to try to figure out the best way for our team to play, for guys to be successful. We're looking for any edge we can come up with. That's what I find extreme joy in, is taking this group of young people and getting to know them as people and players, and then finding the best way to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
And it'll be a complex puzzle to try and figure out. We got that full interview with Brad Brownell on our website, foxcarolina.com. Also, Clemson women's basketball head coach Sean Poppy sat down for a one-on-one with me as well, also on our website. But we'll be back on TV right after this.
Welcome back to Palmetto Sports Daily. We wrap things up with some baseball talk today. And according to the Associated Press, a former River Dogs manager getting the call up to the majors. Blake Butera is set to be hired as the new manager of the Washington Nationals. A big move for Washington is Butera, only 33 years old still, but he spent a couple of years here with the River Dogs in 2021 and 2022, perhaps the two most successful seasons the team has had ever in their long history. They won 170 games over the course of those two seasons, 2 league championships, and Butera twice named the manager of the year for the league as well. So this is a big move. He also becomes the second former River Dogs manager to be a manager in the National League East, joining Mets manager Carlos Mendoza, who's been leading that program for the last couple of years. So congratulations to Blake Butera. Huge move for him as he gets the call up to the big leagues, guys.
Yeah, hey, congratulations to him. It reminds me of Ron Washington, who went on to become the manager of the Texas Rangers and the LA Angels. He coached here in Columbia with the Columbia Mets / Columbia Bombers. So it was great to see him move up, and it's always great to see someone move up to the majors with Palmetto State connections.
Hey, Teagan, last thoughts on Chanticleers Thursday night?
Hey, I think the Chants will surprise us. I think they'll grab a win tonight, but we'll have to see. That's all the time we have on Palmetto Sports Daily. We'll see you all tomorrow.